From a secret underground bunker somewhere in the Arizona desert, 40 feet below the Earth's surface, two men, aided by their robotic artificial intelligence, Jennifer,
at your service.
hide from their wives and kids to discuss man stuff with interesting and unusual people. These men are the Bunker Boys. Well, welcome to the Bunker Boys.
Hello.
Hello. We are so glad you've joined us here down under.
Yeah, down under the ground.
Yes, as a matter of fact, 40 feet below.
40 feet.
As
below.
the man says at the beginning of the show. And that man is me. I'm Charlie, and these are my angels.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I'm sorry, I warped back into the 70s there for just a second.
It's all right.
Hey, well, thanks for joining us, and we've got kind of an interesting show, I think. We've got a few things to talk about some of the new advances in science and things that are being sold now on Amazon. Very interesting things. Sometimes, well, I think the lazier we get, the more inventions we make, so we'll discuss some of those inventions. And then I want to talk about Chief Joseph Riverwind. He's come up with some really interesting things about giants.
What tribe is this?
I don't know,
Chief,
but we'll get to him in just a minute. First, let's talk about some of the new inventions that are out there and the wacky purposes they serve. Here's the first one. How about a Wi-Fi tea kettle? For those that are too lazy to get up and make tea or coffee, you can control your Wi-Fi, your coffee pot or your tea kettle by Wi-Fi from your smartphone.
Isn't that something?
Is that crazy?
It's what?
I mean, do you really need to do that?
How
Can't you just
lazy
get up?
are you?
I guess, if you hit a button that's to start it, then you jump in the shower, maybe that makes sense. Maybe.
Pete's sake.
But you're going to buy something that costs probably $100 just to make a cup of tea. How many cups of tea do you need to make before that pays for itself?
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought, but it hooks up to your Wi-Fi. And then, of course, if a plane flies overhead, it can start your teapot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you
Never thought about it that
probably
way.
take more than that. Although, I did have something weird happen in the old man cave here.
You did what?
Yeah. I told you about this privately, but I'll tell the public now. It's not a big
You
secret.
didn't
But
tell me anything privately.
I did. Here's what we talked about. I'm sitting here editing the show one day, and I had the speakers on listening to the
were?
show. I was. Someone's got to do it. Believe me, it's got to be edited. I tell you, it must be edited. I mean, it's long enough as it is. But what happened is, I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden I hear voices. Not the regular ones I hear in my head, but these other ones coming through the speakers. And I hear this guy saying, winds out of the north-northwest. Yeah, it's okay. I think you'll be all right. Take that north trajectory. And this other guy goes, yeah, okay, I'm over here flying overhead now. I'll be heading that direction, north-northeast.
Oh, so he was in a plane?
Yeah, he was in an airplane.
I'll be darned.
So why would he come through on my speakers?
Little speakers there.
Yeah, cabling must have been acting like an antenna or something, and just picking up the signal. And then it was on there for about 30 seconds, and then gone. So he must have moved out of range.
That's pretty weird.
But the weird thing was, you would expect hearing one side of the conversation if the plane was nearby.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard both sides of the conversation.
What were their names?
I don't know. And apparently they couldn't hear me, so...
Turn around and go back where you came
Go
from.
back the other way. Who's that? You just told me to land.
Yeah, like the GPS thing.
Yeah.
Turn right. Okay.
Remember my last my invention? I want to put that guy from the Flintstones on there. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the irritating man on the GPS. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be.
Recalculating. When I was a kid, I had an experience with my electric guitar where I was playing, and I happened to turn a certain way, and I heard the AM station in town coming through my amplifier. So I know that stuff can happen. But I turned one way, and I heard nothing, and the other way, I could hear it as clear as a bell. Listen to the weather. Here's another thing. Now, I'm getting some of these things off of a website. Smallbiztrends.com is their site. And they're listing all these 18 weird products that are out today that you might consider buying. They got a clip-on man bun.
Oh, jeez. You gotta be kidding me.
I just think of all the many uses with that. You could clip it on your chest. You could clip it. Well, I don't want to go too far with that, but because people will talk. You know what I'm saying? How about a mind-controlled car? It says you don't have to put any physical effort into driving your car because the researchers at Nankai University in China created a car that works by mind control. The car can drive in a straight line using technology, but no one knows how far that technology can be taken. So I don't know what that's all about. So you must have to hook electrodes up to your head or something.
Probably.
I saw something the other day on YouTube about a guy flying a hoverboard. It's like a jet engine. Like they took a small jet engine and put it underneath the hoverboard, and you control it by leaning. It hovers beautifully, but it's got a real nasty whistle like a jet engine. Real loud, but it's out there. If you look up hoverboard, you'll find it.
I'll be darned.
And the guy found that it was the safest place to fly. It was over a lake. So I told my son, I said, "You've always wanted a hoverboard. Now you can buy one. Check this out." And he goes, "Wow, that's pretty cool." Okay, he didn't say that. He said, I'm busy. I'm looking at YouTube."
Oh, really?
I said, "Well, look at this." And he goes, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." Then he goes back to YouTube. But that's
So
a
he
kid
wasn't
for
real
you.
interested in your...
Well, he thought it was cool, though. If you told him he could buy one, he might have been more interested. You were talking about a latte machine. What did you say that thing did?
Oh, it puts your face in your coffee.
Yeah, put your any picture into your coffee. You know how those guys swirl around pictures and make stuff with the foam and the cream?
Right.
Some of those guys are really amazing. They can do real art with that. But yeah, you were telling me about that machine. Well, I found it here, and it says it's been the subject of many an Instagram photo, but you don't even have to learn to make your own because there's a machine that will do it for you. You just load the picture into the machine, and it prints out in cream on the top of your latte the picture. And you can actually do a picture of some person. They have a picture of the waiter on here holding a latte cup. I'm sorry.
It's only $14.95.
I have no idea how much it is.
Cup of latte.
You know what? I can probably get Jennifer to look it up.
Yeah, look
Jennifer,
it up, Jim.
how much is that?
I have your answer.
Okay, it is...
$29.95.
No, that's Earl Scheib. Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, I don't think this is going to be in the budget here. Not for the bunker. Ripple Maker is $999.
Well, let's get one.
Honey, I need to buy something for the man cave. Yeah, that's going to go over like a lead balloon. Mm-hmm. And then on top of the price, it's $75 a month for the service that actually receives the picture and then sends it down to the machine to print into your coffee.
You gotta be kidding me.
No way. No way. I guess if you owned a cafe, it might be worth it, provided the machine lasts long enough to
And
pay
you
for
had
itself.
a lot of money.
Yeah. You know,
And you get a lot of gullible customers.
well, it would be kind of cool if they paid, you paid a little dollar extra for the picture, but I have a feeling it'd be a little more than that. And it's a temporary picture. It just disappears after that. They did say it only takes...
you drink it.
Yeah. Or plus you move it around and it's messed up. You could make somebody look really fat or
Yeah,
really
I'm going to
weird.
drink my own face, man.
All right, the next product we have, the Selfie-Toaster.
What?
You're asking yourself, what's a Selfie-Toaster? I knew you were saying that in your head. Why eat old plain toast when you can have toast with a picture on it? Your face, perhaps? I'm sensing a trend here. Mm-hmm. People like to have pictures of themselves on their food that they eat. So it prints...
Are they conceited? Would that be conceited?
You would think so. The Selfie-Toaster.
I love myself so much, I'm going to get a Selfie-Toaster.
Now, is this $1,000 too? Because then I'm not up for the $1,000 toaster. Jennifer, what do you think about the Selfie-Toaster?
Excellent.
Yeah, you would be.
No.
You like your own picture. Okay. Well, the good news is it's $65.
Oh, that's not bad. Shoot, let's get two of them. One for me and one for you.
Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, you stick your tongue out, take a picture of yourself, make a really mean face. You put it on toast on your wife's plate in the morning. She probably wouldn't even notice.
Probably not.
Too tired.
Your toast is burnt.
But there's this weird tongue picture on my toast. I don't know.
That's weird.
That's a lot better than the machine. I'd go for the toaster rather than $900.
Latte.
On their ad, they say some images are near impossible to get on a slice of bread. Logos, pets, inanimate objects can be difficult, But if you have any questions, contact the company, and they said they will crop your images and edit it for you for the best results for toast. I could imagine that would be kind of hard to print.
I could see how kids would like something like that.
Oh, yeah. And for $65,
Can't beat it.
I mean, a toaster, if it lasts as long as other toasters, you could have it for 20 years. But who knows how long the photo part of it would work. Oh, my gosh. Just when you think it was safe. They've got inhalable chocolate. That's just what you want to teach people. Inhale things into your nostril, right?
Oh, that's snarfing.
They're saying it curbs people's craving.
Isn't inhaling through your mouth?
You can inhale through your nose. Let's see what this says. As consumers become more calorie conscious, companies come up with ways to curb people's cravings without, making them eat more calories. And one of the more interesting innovations is Le Whiff.
Oh, boy.
I'm glad you weren't drinking when I said that. Le Whiff. It is Le Whiff. Dick, would you mind taking Le Whiff? Do me a solid and take a Le Whiff, would you? A French product that lets you inhale flavors like chocolate so that you can taste it without actually taking in any calories. So you're right, it's not through the nose, it's through the mouth. Then there's the potato greeting cards.
Oh, what?
Potato greeting cards. You send a friend a potato with a message on it. And it looks like it's kind of burned into the potato. It's a service that you buy. I guess you type in your message that will fit on a potato.
Is it a potato or a potato?
A potato.
Oh, okay.
Did I say potato?
Potato.
It's my Ohio coming out. I know it starts with a P.
What? What?
And according to one of the vice presidents, it ends in an E. So, potato. Oh, you ever have a hard day and you just need your eyes massaged? Well, there's an eye massager now on the market that you can buy. It's all sorts of foot massagers and chair massagers for your back, even full body massages. If you go to a masseuse, you can buy now a device that is wearable that will massage your eyeballs.
Oh, boy.
What would that sound like?
Or
Or that's my juicy eyeball there. Wow. I want to see what this thing looks like.
Wow is right.
Jennifer, can you bring that one up, please?
Well, probably just...
Accessing data now.
Okay. And what were you going to say, Garth?
Well, it's probably just two pads that you put over your eyes and it moves around or something.
It is. It is two pads you put over your eyes, but they look like cell phones.
Cell phones?
It looks like two cell phones with a hinge in the middle, and
they're square?
They're kind of rectangular, and they fit like a visor across your face.
Oh.
And then you strap it on like it's a headset. And
Strap it on.
well, you do. And it's got a soft, velvety cushion. And apparently there's a little music you can hook up to it. It's got music, heat, air, and...
air?
That's what it says. And it apparently moves around your eye and its eye socket. Pushes on it a little bit. Gently, I'm sure.
Huh.
Otherwise you wouldn't be wanting to do it. But man, that's weird.
That's very strange.
An eye massager.
Well, I know if you ever rubbed your eyes or anything, well, I'm sure you have, but it feels kind of good.
Yeah, but not that long. I don't want it done for 30 minutes.
People will start making millions off it. Get your eyes massaged.
Okay, here's one. The air umbrella. It's not available just yet, but it's an umbrella made out of air. And it's supposed to work by pushing high bursts of air above you so that the water droplets can't get through. Mm-hmm. So it kind of pushes the rain out of the way. So you no longer have to deal with holding metal rods.
So you're walking down the street with this stupid thing in your hand blowing air.
I don't know if you even hold it. It doesn't say.
Well, what in the hell do you do with it?
I have no idea, but let's see if we can find it here. Jennifer.
Researching now. Sending to display now.
There it is. Okay, this thing looks like a... you ever see those big round thumpy back massagers? It looks like a stick with a ball on the end of it.
Yes.
Well, the ball is looks like about 6 to 8 inches in diameter, and it's got vents that come up the edge of the
ball.
the ball,
Right.
and the vents push a lot of forceful air up around the top.
So how is this powered? Is it battery powered, or do you
Looks
have to
like it.
walk around with a 900-foot extension cord?
It looks like it's got batteries. It's got,
And how long does that last?
I don't know, but it looks like there's about 5 or 6 batteries, like D cells. And it's about it looks maybe about a foot long. And then at the top of the thing is a ball, and there's a fan inside it that circulates, that pushes the rain out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you hold it over your head, it keeps the rain off of you.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. I'd like to see that in operation.
It's pretty stupid if you ask me.
Yeah, and if it could keep you dry, then, hey, cool. Whatever works.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, they say if you can-
that'd have to be a lot of air blown out of that thing.
I think you're right. It would be.
What the heck is the matter with people? Anything for a buck, though, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody will buy one or two.
Well, that one makes more sense than this one. How about the
Uh-oh.
stash shield? You're sick of getting food and mess into your mustache? Well, they've got an invention for that now. The Stash Shield. It was funded late last year with Kickstarter, and it's a product designed to keep that crap off your mustache, off your facial hair. It's currently available on pre-order, so get your money in now. Your Stash Shield.
What does it look like?
Oh my gosh, let's see.
Is it just a piece of tape you put over your mustache or something?
You got me. Jennifer.
Jennifer, look something else up.
Accessing data now.
Oh, it took me to a Japanese company.
Well,
I can't
figure
read it.
that one.
It's all in Japanese. Yeah, I guess I won't be able to read that one. They have a new chair out called the Alt Work Station. Alt Work, where apparently you tilt back in the chair where you can almost lay down, and you can hook 2 monitors up to your chair. You can have a laptop on one side and the monitor on the other side, and the monitor can be fairly large. It looks very space age.
I have a large monitor.
Yeah, well, I can believe that. You mean a lizard? Monitor lizard?
Monitor lizard.
Allows you to change position throughout the day and even basically lay down on your job while your computer screen's overhead all the time. So it follows the tilt of the chair. So as you lean back, it's kind of wired to your seat, or there's a shelf wired to your seat, or a beam. And that beam is in an L. And on the L is the TV's bracketed and the laptop station. And it's tied down so that your laptop won't slide off. Pretty cool idea. That could be interesting. How about electronic undershoes? They're sort of like roller skates, but they're not for skating. They're for electric transportation.
What?
They make you walk faster. Undershoes. What the heck
They
are they?
make you walk faster.
Yeah. They look like roller skates. Apparently they have wheels on the bottom. And you can walk, but with each step, you're cruising more than just a step. So the wheels kind of propel you forward electronically.
You probably have to use that on concrete
I would think you're
or
right.
asphalt.
Yeah, getting caught in a rug. I'll be there in a minute, boss, but my wheel's caught in a rug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Give that to a marathon runner.
Yeah. You know what they're called? Rollkers. They're not walkers, they're not rollers, they're rollkers. They look like skates. They honestly do. They enhance your way of walking. Walk twice as fast as you normally would. They're called a personal mobility device. And then when you're really hungry, there's the Cricket protein bars. Every home should have them.
Crickets.
If you feel you're missing something in your diet, crickets are the way to
I
go.
like grasshoppers better.
Okay, grasshopper.
And
Choose this pebble from my hand.
mealworms.
Mealworms?
No mealworms.
Mealworms? You mean mealworms. Grasshopper, take this pebble from my hand. Wait a minute. I gotta set the mood. Ready?
Yep.
Grasshopper, take this pebble from my hand.
Yes, master.
That wasn't my hand.
Oh.
Sorry. Anyway, weird products. What else do they have? We've touched on all the good ones. Leather made from old fruit? Oh, but that's a story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know how we were talking last week about Belgian waffles?
Yes. From Mexico?
From Mexico. You got to go back and listen to the other show. Oh, geez, that was bad. Yeah, this one is pancakes. Turn your pancakes into works of art. No longer do you have to settle for those old, round, boring pancakes. Or those old waffles that are waffle pattern. This pancake maker has 3D printing technology, and you can make anything you can draw.
Huh.
So they have an example of like a little rocket ship and little stars in the sky and a moon and Saturn and some planets.
We used to do Mickey Mouse pancakes and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. My wife used to do those. Not for me though, for the kid.
Right.
Although they were kind of cool. I liked Mickey Mouse pancakes.
You like the Donald Duck pancakes.
She couldn't do those. I just don't know what to say to you. Donald Duck. So if you have an idea for a crazy invention, and I guess this is the year to get it out there and make money. I just heard a dog.
Yeah, you bark him down the vent.
That's got to be my dog.
Mm-hmm. It's probably Leo.
My Chihuahua.
Leo the gargoyle dog.
It's Leo the gargoyle dog. Yeah, when you first saw him, his eyes were a little... Well, his eyes are always bugged out. And he looks like a wiener dog. He's not like your typical Chihuahua. And he's got a severe underbite.
Yes, he does.
So,
he is one odd-looking thing.
So he's so ugly, he's cute. That's
you
why
may
we love
think
him.
So.
Well, that's why we have him. We love him dearly. No.
Oh, you know what? Rockford.
What? I'm not Rockford.
My dog, Rockford.
Oh, you're okay.
My yellow lab. You know, he has big eyes, right?
Yeah.
Big dark brown eyes, and he's white, basically. He reminds me of black-eyed children.
Oh no.
Because the other night I was laying in bed, and he'll wake me up because if he has to go to the restroom, so I could let him out. So I was laying in bed, and it was it wasn't pitch black, but we had a moon, full moon the other night. And I'm laying there, and all you see was this white head with these two big old black eyes staring at me. I'm laying on my side, and I'm opening up my eyes, and he's just sitting there looking at me.
Yeah.
And it kind of startled me at first.
Yeah, because there's a face right there.
Right. And he looked like he reminded me of one of those black-eyed children that we talked about on one of the shows.
He was your own personal little black-eyed child.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Did you see the sunshine out there, Garth?
Yes, I have.
It's absolutely beautiful outside today.
Isn't it?
I hate to even come down here to this dark area, but you know what? You got to do the show. The show must go on.
The show has to go on.
Yeah, we're about halfway through here today. But I wanted to talk about something, I'm always interested in some of the things they've found archaeologically. The giants that they found all over the world, and the Smithsonian seems to be covering up based on reports I've been hearing.
What do you mean, seems to be covering up?
Well, that's what we're hearing. Another guy said, well, there's no evidence of that.
Right.
Well, there's no evidence because it's been covered up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my personal opinion. I think that's what they're doing. Otherwise, we'd see these things on display somewhere.
By all means, I agree.
And the only reason I think they cover them up is because it takes away from the narrative that the Bible is not true, and therefore their version of creation, is okay and it will uphold. But really, it's not the truth. The truth is what the Bible says, and I'm staking my life on that reputation.
Are you sticking to it?
I'm sticking to it.
Okay.
But along those lines, we're hearing stories of all over the world of these giants being found, from the deserts near the pyramids to in the Middle East, in
even
Ohio,
here in Arizona.
In Arizona, yeah, there's stories about that, and we talked about that in one of the earlier shows. So, these creatures existed, and the reason they're here is spelled out in the Bible. Now, here's something interesting. There's a gentleman by the name of Chief Joseph Riverwind. Since you're a tribal member, I'm going to let that go.
Yes, I am a tribal member.
Arawak Tribal Nation.
Arawak? Where's that?
Arawak. I'm not sure, but I think they ended up in Georgia. That's where they stayed. But they came from, as far as they know, the farthest away was from Puerto Rico, which is strange to me. But I've never heard of that. Puerto Rican Native Americans.
Yeah.
But anyway, Chief Joseph says that his people were the first to see and speak to giants here in the mainland U.S. They started out in Puerto Rico. Their territory extended upward into the states, to what's now the state of Georgia. His tribe was the tribe of first contact, so they're the first to have met Columbus and his people.
So did they eat turkey?
I imagine they did. Their people verbally pass on the stories of the flood and Noah and building a boat and bringing 2 of every animal, and that's passed on verbally from their elders down to today's generation. And there's an interesting story about that. I'll get to that in just a minute or two. Now, his people always rested on the 7th day. That was their religious belief, 7th day of the week, totally paralleling what the Bible says. And they talk of giants. I don't know that his people called them the cloud eaters, but they may have been the tribe that called them that. I know there were some American tribes here that called them cloud eaters because they were so tall. The giants' stories in Georgia, in that local area, they talk of giants biting off the heads of their tribesmen and then drinking the blood from their necks. That's how big these giants were.
They just turned them upside down and suck it on up, huh?
Yeah, can you imagine having something so big it could bite your head off?
Well, if I had 2 sets of teeth, I could...
Yeah. Most giants do, they say.
They say, yeah.
I've seen one set that did have 2 rows of teeth, and that was pretty interesting. And when you ask their older or elder tribal members how the giants got there, the elders passed on the stories of star people who stated that they came from the Pleiades star system and Orion's belt and taught them all about the constellations. So that parallels basically what the Bible and what the book of Enoch says. Says that the angels came down and they mated with earth women and had children which became giants.
Right.
And that their people came from, the stars or outer space or somewhere off the earth in the air. Well, in fact, that's what they were told. So they were being lied to. Exactly.
That horse didn't like that.
Yeah.
He didn't like to be lied to.
So I think that's very interesting that they're all being told about the star people. I know I have a Navajo friend that says that his elders talk about the star people and the 7 sisters.
Oh, I'll be there.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. Well, it says the tribe also in their history noticed a new star appear in the sky. And they think that was the star when Jesus was born. Spirit messengers came and explained that they came from God and talked to their people. And they came to explain that Jesus would be born, and that's why the new star appeared. So angels came down and told them, but they called them spirit messengers, which is what they really are.
Mm-hmm.
They were taught many things. Some of the star people taught them about planting and the summer and winter solstices, and that the solstices were the time when the portals were closest to Earth, or the thinnest, so they could transport and cross over into the other dimension, whatever that is, between this world and the other world's existence.
I'll be darned.
So the solstice is why they celebrate those, and why a lot of tribes and a lot of ancient peoples build monuments that face directly into the summer solstice or the winter solstice,
right,
so they can tell when that time of year is. That's fascinating. And that's the first I've heard this from Native American culture. It says these star people then proceeded to take wives and the Native American wives of the star people and bore children to them, but every one of the women died during childbirth, most likely because of the size of the children they were bearing, because they were giants. And those children became giants, it says, and those giants were evil. Not one of them was good. And this perfectly parallels the Bible and the book of Enoch. So once again, another culture confirms what the Bible says. And Enoch says a little more than the Bible does about spirit connections and about the fallen ones. But I thought that was really interesting.
That is pretty interesting.
He says that his tribal members told them that the giants made the burial mounds, which were then copied by other Native American tribes, but the giants were the first to make them, and they just copied them. And they say that children are chosen in the tribe to memorize the stories. They're chosen to be storytellers if they have an especially good memory. So they're supposed to memorize the stories word for word, and they cannot add or take away any words of the oral tradition.
Wow.
They are supposed to memorize them verbatim so they can pass them on to other generations. And certain ones are chosen. I guess there's more than one chosen in each tribe.
Yeah, it's like two dogs.
I don't even want to go there because I know where this is going. They believe that the Earth civilization, a lot of people say the Earth civilization is only 6,000 years old, those that believe in what the Bible says. And the reason they do that is because when you read the Bible, it gives you the whole tradition of who's born to whom and how many generations have passed, and they finally get to Jesus. And that's where they stop telling you who begat whom. I don't know if you ever saw that in the Bible, but it's lengthy. And but it totals about 6,000 years, the lineage going all the way back to Adam. And it comes to about 6,000. Now, that doesn't mean the Earth itself is 6,000 years old. It could certainly be much older. It could be billions of years old. We don't know.
Earth?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it is a lot older than 6,000 years.
But there are a lot of folks that believe that the Earth itself is also 6,000 years old, that God created man and Earth at the same time. But that's not true.
Yeah, who knows?
So here's another thing. It says that there were civilizations here before man got here. And then God flooded the earth because it was corrupt. And then he created mankind. There was a Christian that was talking about this, and he was pointing to certain Bible verses where it talks about the flood. And it says that God moved on the waters and brought the land forth. Well, the land was already there. So it had been flooded before. Because why don't you just create land if you're God? Just create the land if there's just water. But he created the land already, and the land was already flooded. So there are certain indications in the Bible that there was actually 2 floods. And then God says to Noah, he will never flood the earth again. He will never destroy the earth again by flood.
It'll be by fire.
Yeah, yes, it will. It will be by fire. It says so in Revelation. So
Told you.
I got a lot. Funny. I got a lot out of that. I just thought that was a great talk and a great set of facts there that they brought up. And that there was a civilization before Earth, or before mankind, and the angels were part of it. The angels were creating buildings, the angels were creating things, and I think they were actually warping plants and doing weird DNA things. And I don't even know if they were all evil. I think there might have been good angels told to create things too. But I'd have to look more into that. But these are things that sound very foreign when you were raised in the church, like I was when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. They don't teach this in Sunday school. They teach the basics, and that's it. And you hear the same stories over and over.
Right.
But when you start reading the Bible, there's so much more to it. That's why it's fascinating for me. And then when you start getting into the actual Hebrew text, and you see what the story says in Hebrew and what is meant by the words they choose, sometimes it changes the story just a little bit. It doesn't change it dramatically, but it leads you to more of an insight of what they meant when they wrote it.
Did you know Earth is the only planet not named after a god?
After a god? No.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
I did not. And when you think about that, that makes sense.
Right.
Because you have Mars, the god of war.
And candy bars.
And candy bars. That's important.
Or it used to be candy bars.
That's because I'm on a diet now. I can't go to candy bars.
Well, they don't make Mars bars anymore.
Don't they?
No.
Why?
Because Mary got the last one.
She did.
Mm-hmm.
Does she still have it frozen somewhere?
No, she ate it.
Oh, jeez. No, seriously, they don't make them anymore?
They don't make Mars bars anymore, I don't think.
Why is that, I wonder?
I don't know. That happened like 20 years ago or something.
Yeah, I wondered about that because there were all sorts of different candies that we used to get as kids.
Right.
Good and Plenty, you don't see that around anymore, but I think if you go to specialty stores.
I love Good and Plenty.
Are you kidding me?
Charlie says.
You're the one.
Love my Good and Plenty.
Who?
Charlie says.
You like licorice?
Really? Yes, I love black licorice.
I hate black licorice.
We used to take the plants, the licorice plants, they used to grow wild where we lived, and break them off and just chew on them all day long,
Yeah.
when we were kids.
We would do that with mint. My grandfather would grow some mint, and we'd
Mint
chew
also,
on that.
yeah.
Or
Back to
lemongrass.
I like lemongrass.
Lemongrass was good. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just, a little diversion.
But I was just telling you, Earth is the only planet that's not named after a god.
Yeah, I never thought about that before. Venus, Saturn,
Flytrap.
Jupiter.
Venus flytrap.
Yeah. Dr. Johnny Fever. We go to these TV shows
Here
from the 70s.
we go again.
Our formative years.
You know, it'd take 100 years to watch every video on YouTube.
I believe that. Probably 200 now. That was yesterday.
That was
Now there's a billion more uploaded.
And all scorpions glow.
Yes, they do. You're just full of useless facts. I
I?
love that.
Aren't I, though?
Yeah. Well, we've seen enough scorpions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all I really had to say about the giants this time. But I was really fascinated with that. And then the Native American culture has their own stories about them, and involves the star people, which we've heard of as angels, and I've heard it from so many other cultures that they saw star people. So every culture on Earth has experienced them in some fashion.
And you could see on the, what are they, petroglyphs and stuff like that?
Yeah.
They have giants, big people carved into the sides of cliffs and stuff.
Yeah, we've got some petroglyphs around here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Have you ever, now I haven't gone over to the other side to see them. That sounded really spiritual. The other side of the river to see them.
We should go now. Well, not right now, but...
Before it gets rainy, huh?
Yeah.
Because then we can get over to the other side without getting muddy and stuck.
Right, because remember the last time we went, we were stopped by water.
Yeah, there's a stream that runs through there, and it's in a deep gully, and
A river runs through it.
It does. And it's so deep and high.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how far the trees were? We could see where they were thrown into other trees.
The debris and stuff.
Debris stuck up high about 18 feet in the trees.
Yep.
So that had to be a deep water that came through there. I'd like to have seen that, though, just to see what the force looked like.
Sometimes that is impassable. You can't go through there in the rainy season.
I believe that. That would be some serious water to try to get through. But have you seen up close those petroglyphs?
Well, of course.
Is there anything over there that's amazing, or is it just...
No, I don't remember if there's any people, but I think there's a couple animals and squiggly lines and a sun.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
How about a circular thing that starts like a spiral?
Right, and one of those.
There's one of those?
Yes.
Because those are supposed to represent portals in time.
Well, they portaled it.
Okay, so star people could have influenced the tribe here then, because that's what that's supposed to be about. That's what they tell us. I mean, who knows?
Right.
You know what's funny to me is that who's to say that isn't some kid's artwork? 12-year-old guy just kind of chiseling around stone.
No, you could tell it's really, really old.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying it's old, but maybe it's a 12-year-old tribal member.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I can see what you're saying.
Because you've got those Helen Keller gloves on.
Exactly.
You can grab my words and feel them. And
I have the
understand
Helen Keller glasses on.
Yes, you do. That's an amazing woman, Helen
I
Keller.
can see what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious. I would love to be able to see someone translate those and get the translation correct. Understand what we're actually looking at. Because everyone makes up something. I mean, you could say that's my Uncle Fred, and that's a little windmill he made, that spiral.
And see the squiggly lines, those are snakes.
Well, yeah, it could be snakes, or it could be lightning bolts, or who knows? I mean, some things you can readily identify, like when they draw antelope, or if they draw a cow,
right,
or a bull, you can recognize that.
Or some sort of animal, yes.
Exactly. So
we saw one that had a cat, and it coming out of the mouth, it said meow.
You just hit the microphone. I did. That's a cardinal sin. Playing bass guitar, Garth.
Walking down.
You do play bass, though, don't you?
Yes, a little bit, here and there.
I can a little bit, too. I want to get one. We should do a song, jingle writing thing where we actually record us trying to figure out how to write a jingle.
Oh, boy, that ought to be interesting.
And then once we get done, we actually play it for the people. That would be...
We could do that.
Yeah. It'd be a long process,
That
though.
would be,
I
was
write
going to
slowly.
say, that would take about forever.
Sing, 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 something, something, big
with all
finish.
the editing and everything else.
Yeah. Garth and Chris Show. It's the Garth and Chris Show. Well, anyway. And there was another thing that I saw on video that I found entertaining. This lady and her husband would travel all over the world, and they're the only team that's documented all of these petroglyphs. They went from France to the Middle East to, just everywhere, the Southwest, Colorado, and they took pictures inside of caves, and they documented all these things, and they found similarities in every part of the world. The same drawings, the same circular spiral drawings, the same giant drawings, just everything was the same.
Exactly.
There have been some differences. Their main characters were the same way. They drew them all the same way. But what differed was some of them showed like space creatures or spaceships.
Right.
It looked like a flying saucer. And that's what someone looks like. They're in a headgear for a
helmet,
like an astronaut's
right.
headgear.
Exactly.
So, but mainly, just regular everyday life was drawn there. And like you and I were talking, they don't know whether they think these are ideographs. They're not words. They're stories, but they're in ideas with figures, and you kind of have to interpret it. But there are some known things, like they know what water is, because some of the tribes today had that passed down to them. They say that is a drawing of water. They know that because it's just been handed down.
Right.
But there are other things they just don't remember what they are. And that's what they're trying to figure out, is what would be common to all these different people, and yet it's a common language. You can see their goats look the same, their cattle look the same, and always that spiral. There's always a spiral there.
There's always a spiral out there somewhere.
It's probably a spiral staircase.
No, talking about that, which I just remembered something. We were out hunting. We were elk hunting a few years ago, and we were on private property.
Okay.
We knew the person who owned the property, and he said, "Yeah, you go out there, go hunting." So we were elk hunting, and the guy showed us some petroglyphs of the tribes out here. I guess what they're Yavapai Indians or something, or Wallapai Indians.
There's a lot of different ones out
Yes, there is quite a few different ones.
And here being Arizona.
Right. And on the side of this boulder were carvings of trails going through the mountains.
So it was a map.
It was a map.
Wow.
Exactly.
That is interesting.
Yeah, from like all the way up by Utah, from the Kaibab up there, all the way through down into here where we live.
And that's what the trail showed up into Kaibab in Utah.
Right.
Wow, that's a long map.
Yep.
Now, how would they know exactly how it went without seeing it from the air?
I don't know.
How would you know to draw it that way? That's what's interesting.
Well, what about Lewis and Clark? Something that way.
Well, they were surveyors too. I mean, that's how they could tell where a trail was.
They didn't have GPSs and
No,
stuff.
no, but they were pretty smart.
Right.
So, I mean, not that the Native Americans weren't smart. They were in many ways. But you wouldn't expect them to know how to figure a distance like that and how to draw it.
And then plus it had, carvings of animals and everything else. Mm-hmm. Deer and elk and everything, that they hunted.
So apparently they haven't changed much over the centuries, right?
Oh, did you know they haven't? Did you know there used to be an old, what was it? What do they call that? Postal, what do they call that?
Pony Express.
Pony Express out here.
Oh, really?
Coming through Arizona. Went through Arizona.
Yeah. In fact, my dad, we set him up on we jokingly call it a play date. Yeah, our former exterminator was retiring, and he said that he'd take my dad up through the canyons and stuff on his four-wheeler. He said, I've got 2 4-wheelers, and he can go with me, and he said, it'll be fun. He says, tell him to call me up when he gets here. And I thought, okay, we'll do. Because Dad always liked the cowboy movies and the Old West, but he just never got to see much of it other than what I could take him to see. And this was something that was very special because he was taken up through Indian territory, and a lot of Native American lands, and a place where the Pony Express used to ride through, this man's property. So what happened was the exterminator friend of mine, he knows this guy that owns property up where the Pony Express used to run, and he just took my dad up there with him. They drove the back trails through the wash, through Wickenburg, and got to this ranch. And back there, he said that the ranch owner had actually found a skeleton that had dropped down between two rocks.
Wow.
So apparently somebody had died there and fell down into the rocks and couldn't get out. And he didn't know if they were injured or what have you, but they were stuck. I guess they removed it and buried it. But he found all sorts of different things up there, belt buckles and war chest items.
Wow, that'd be kind of
bullets.
neat.
Yeah. So cavalry. And he said the Pony Express came through there. Do you know how long the Pony Express lasted? I think it was 1 year.
Really?
Yeah. Jennifer, can you look that up, please?
Sending to display now.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. And here it is. The Pony Express was a mail service delivering messages for newspapers and mail, officially operating as the Leavenworth and Pikes Peak Express Company of 1859, and in 1860 it became the Central Overland California and Pikes Peak Express Company. Wow, that's a long name. It was founded by William H. Russell, Alexander Majors, and William B. Waddell, all of whom were notable in the freighting business. It says during its 19 months of operation, it reduced the time for messages to travel between the Atlantic and Pacific coasts to about 10 days, from April 3rd, 1860 to October 1861. It became the West's most direct means of east-west communication before the telegraph was established, and was vital for tying the new state of California with the rest of the United States.
So that's what took it over is telegraph.
Yes.
Okay.
So they didn't have to deliver the messages in 10 days. You could do it almost instantly with telegraph.
Right. Exactly.
So there you have it. A little more than a year.
I'll be darned.
19 months.
Isn't that something?
Yep, year and 7 months, right?
Getting back to my story that I was going to tell you with hunting and stuff, ran across an old stagecoach rest.
Oh, wow.
Where stagecoach used to stop and feed and water the horses.
Yeah.
And feed the people.
So there would be a little building there.
It's a little building, right?
How big was that?
It probably wasn't real big. Maybe 40 by 40 roughly, 40 by 20 maybe.
Oh, that's pretty decent size. It's enough to house some people, I guess.
It was pretty darn neat.
Yeah.
And I even we hunted around there and everything else.
Did it have a label on it? Like say
no,
station?
It's been so long, people,
took it apart.
Tear everything up, of course.
Wow.
But somebody finally bought that property out that way, and I don't know what they're doing. I haven't been out there for like 4 years now.
So did you have much success hunting?
Oh yeah, we usually got something.
Yeah, I've hunted with my dad a little bit, not a whole lot, but I'd like to go hunting and get an elk and put that in the freezer. Good meat.
Nothing's better than elk. Well, buffalo's good also.
I couldn't believe how big elk get. Driving down the road, I almost hit one, and it was taller than my vehicle.
They're big.
Yeah, huge, much bigger than deer.
Well, we had some on my property here a few months ago. Remember? I took you guys out there and showed you.
Yeah, the elk droppings.
The dropping, that's...
Nothing says romantic walk than elk droppings.
That's one of Rockford's favorite treats now.
I didn't say elf droppings, did I? Elk droppings.
Elk. Yeah,
elf droppings is a whole different thing.
When we go on our walk, Rockford he knows right where to go to eat the elk turds.
Why would the dog eat those?
I don't know. I guess.
You know what? I shouldn't say that because I saw Leo do it the other day because there was cow patties.
Poop,
yep. And he was digging into it. They were dried, but there was something smelly in there that he wanted.
Yeah, Rockford's favorite things are poop from cows, elk, and antelope up here.
Oh, that's so nice.
They look like little malted milk balls.
Yeah, well, they're very similar to rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't eat rabbit pellets. He only eats the
finer antelope.
The better stuff, I guess.
Jeez.
But yeah, I get so mad at him. I see him doing that, and I run after him. he's in his own little world too, you know.
Oh, yeah, they get locked in on that scent and they don't want to go.
Rockford, get over here. And he turns around and looks at me, goes back into, you son of a... I start running after him, and then he knows. Dad's pissed.
Yeah, and then he gets the picture.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with that, but yeah, I'd like to go hunting sometime. My dad and my brother, and I know you said you had gone on a buffalo hunt.
Mm-hmm. Four of them, I think.
Yeah, that's something I'd like to do, to get some good meat.
Oh.
I love buffalo.
So do I.
Buffalo,
Actually, it's
no.
not buffalo, it's bison.
Bison. What's the difference?
I don't know. I really don't know. I call them buffalo.
Jennifer,
Yes, Master.
work your magic.
Accessing data now.
Okay, so apparently there is a difference, and according to jhbuffalomeat.com,
Okay.
they say that not everyone knows the difference between buffalo and bison. Calling a bison a buffalo is actually inaccurate, but a common mistake. It's so common, in fact, that we sometimes use the two interchangeably. But if you really want to know the difference between a buffalo and a bison, the American bison is native to North and South America and Europe, while the other two buffalo species reside in Africa and Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Bison and buffalo...
Those would be water buffalo.
Yeah. So they're related. That's bizarre.
I'll be darned.
Bison and buffalo share the same family, but there are over 38 types of buffalo, and unlike bison, many of them have been domesticated. A few more fun facts. North American bison have a beard, while their Asian relatives do not.
Mm-hmm.
And American bison can live in really cold places like Wyoming. Traditionally, buffalo meat was prized as an essential part of the Native American diet. Today, bison are thriving due to smart management and breeding,
Right.
and restoration of their native grazing land. By purchasing bison meat, you're helping to continue a ranching tradition that has been a way of life in the Mountain West for hundreds of years. So
I think they crossbred bison with cows, so they're called beefalo or something like that.
yes, that's true. Yeah, they crossbred an elephant with a rhino.
It's a hell if I know what that is. I knew it
It's
right
an
from
old
the
joke.
beginning. It's an old saying I just made up.
You just made up years ago. I forgot to remember to forget.
Me too.
You're giving me a headache.
Oh, sorry, Jennifer.
Well, anyway,
Let me tell you about the time I was quail hunting.
quail hunting?
I was quail hunting.
Oh, quail hunting.
Quail hunting. No, not tail hunting. Just
I think you
quail
said
hunting.
quail hunting.
Oh,
Okay.
one of the kids I used to work with, I taught him how to hunt quail and dove here in Lake Havasu City. I reload all my shotgun shells myself, right? So we're out there and we did a little bit of practice shooting at first, make sure he even knew how to pull a trigger on a gun and what have you. Okay, so we're out there and we had Mossberg with us, my old doggy.
No, he's gone into doggy heaven.
Yes, he has. But anyways, we're out there walking around out in the desert and stuff. And here comes some quail. They just ran across the road right in front of us when we were walking this road. I said, okay, let's go get them. So anyways, we went kind of chasing after them because they didn't want to get up and fly. And you don't want to shoot them on the ground,
Yeah.
So anyways, we're chasing all these birds around all over the place. He's going, is this how you quail hunt? I said, well, no, not really. My dog's supposed to be helping us, But Mossberg, he had something else to do, I guess. But so anyways, we get him up on top of this hill because we could have shot them, right on the ground. But I didn't. I'm more of a sportsman than that.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm taking these rocks and I'm throwing. I go, throw rocks at them. They hovered up in this big old bush, this big old mesquite bush or a tree underneath the tree, and throwing rocks at them. And they finally fly out from underneath there and flying down on the other side of this hill, right? Mm-hmm. So needless to say, remember I told you I reloaded my own shotgun shells. So I there's one flying down this hill and I get a good beat on him and pull the trigger, goes boom, like that, and the BBs roll out the end of the barrel of the gun.
Did you forget to put enough powder in or what?
I guess the machine didn't put powder because, you have a machine that...
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Poof.
No, it just went thump.
That reminds me of the Ricochet Rabbit, Droop Along, his deputy, Droop Along, and he'd shoot, and the gun would go, and the bullet would just come out and drop.
Exactly. That's how this was. And the kid I was teaching how to hunt, he looks at me, he goes, "Oh, what happened?" I said, "I don't know." And I finally told him, "Well, I must not have put powder in there. The machine didn't drop powder in there."
Oh, man. Did you check the other ones?
Well, yeah, the rest of them worked.
It just happened to be that one.
It just happened to be that one.
Yeah, that'd be my luck.
But the look on the kid's face is like, because he was ready for a big boom, and seeing this bird falling out of the air, and it just goes thump, and the BBs rolled out of the I'm looking at it, thump.
Oh, man. That knife that we got, I got you one because I thought it was one of the best knives I've ever seen.
It's nice
for
knife.
Hunting.
Mm-hmm.
The Blackbird. That is such a cool knife. Strong,
is that what they call
steel.
it?
Yeah, it's a Blackbird. Yeah, I was looking at those the other day again. I thought, I'd like to get another one, but they're $100.
$100,
like,
yeah.
Man. But yeah, it's such a great knife.
That's what I said when you gave me mine. I go, what did you get?
Well, you look after my house when I'm not here, and you've been a good neighbor. You come over and you fix things when I
Okay,
need
you know
help.
what I want next?
I'm sorry, the number you're speaking to is no longer in service. I got a rich sucker on the hook. We're going to get some more stuff.
Exactly.
Oh, anyway.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going. You were saying something about the knife?
No, I was just thinking about that knife and hunting. I've never used it for anything yet. I've never cut into anything yet. But I'm going to have to get you to teach me how to sharpen that thing because I'm really bad at sharpening knives.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah, I need to know the technique. I've tried it myself, and I can never get it right. My wife's better than I am. She's got a better eye for it or coordination for it. But you have to tilt it kind of, right? At like not quite a 10, 12-degree angle.
A 25 or 30-degree
Oh, 25?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can do a circular pattern, cut forward?
There's different ways.
Yeah.
I use the whole stone.
Yeah.
Because
Cut across it?
you have a long stone, and then you use the whole stone and go.
Pull it across and down at the same time?
Well, it's hard to explain.
It looks like you're pulling down and across.
Well, yeah, you go this way on the one side of the blade. Mm-hmm. Can you people see this?
Yeah, I see it.
You go this way like four to five times. It all depends on how dull your knife is too.
Yeah.
And how many strokes you take. But then you turn it over and you come back the other way towards you.
Right.
Same amount of times.
And same angle.
In the same angle. Then you go back, do it another 4 times. The other way, another 4 times.
Because I've done it for 20 minutes and my knife's still not sharp.
But see, that's because you're probably at too far of an angle.
Yeah, maybe I should try a different
Too
angle.
much of an angle, I should say.
Yeah, I'll try that. I'm not going to do it on that knife because I want that one to be pristine, but I've got pocket knives I can use to
Why
try.
don't you just buy a knife sharpener?
I've got several. They seem to cut metal right off the blade.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they're a little harsh.
I bought a electric sharpener. It was like $35 or $40 or something. But it's not a wheel.
Mm-hmm. Is it a band? Like a...
No. Mm. They're 2 stones that go back and forth.
Oh, okay. I've seen those too.
And you run it through there, but it takes forever.
What's the best method that you found? Is it a stone?
A stone for me.
Yeah. And what grain of stone? Because you've got different...
You have different
ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you use like a 125 grain or...
Oh, I don't know.
They make them to 1,000 and even beyond, I think, 1,200. Yeah. But that's for real fine sharpening.
They even have diamond impregnated stones that you get the final touch on.
Yeah, I'm going to have to toy with that and see how I can get my knives working. 'Cause once I get it right, once I understand how it works, then it's going to be fun.
Yeah, once you get your angle down.
Yeah.
Once you get the angle down, it's,
not too bad.
Right. But I've been sharpening knives all my life. I've been cleaning fish and animals all my life. So.
Yeah, you and my father. So, yeah, I'll have to learn that technique. You have to show me. Well, anyway, that wraps up our show. We're up against the time clock on this one. But we hope you enjoyed what you heard and thought it was kind of entertaining. And you can remember, you don't have to listen to the whole show at once. I've heard friends of mine said, "How long is your show?" And I go, "Well, it's about almost an hour."
An hour?
An hour? My gosh! I said, "An hour? That's nothing if you're entertained."
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing something else, you can do housework, you can do
Right.
dishes, you can clean things up, and while you're doing that, or you're taking your walk, and then when you're done, maybe you do a 20-minute walk, pause it, do it, finish it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to listen to it all at once.
Push the button and resume the next day.
That's what I do. Am I the only one that thinks in the room? I'm sorry.
Probably.
I hope not. Well, anyway, we appreciate you listening, and
Yes, we do.
stick around. We've got more interesting things, and we'll eventually get some interviews. I've got some things lined up. This is the Bunker Boys Show, Bunker Boys Underground. I'm Chris,
I'm Garth.
and a good day to you.
By all means.